Good evening. Welcome to the October 22nd meeting of the Pearl L. Crawford Memorial Library Board of Trustees meeting. Start time is 6:15, and I would ask that everyone, the meeting will be recorded, don't want to forget. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd love them to replace that flag. It's seen better days.
We'll see what we can do about that. All right, thank you, folks. Our first item this evening will be reviewing and approval of the meeting minutes from September 10th, 2024. I thank Lisa for getting that sent out to everybody. Yes, sir.
I don't know how we could do that, but we should thank Lisa. She's done a wonderful job, and I know it's one that none of us relished because it was always taking us away from what else
Relish
was.
is mine.
Yeah, well, it's a family show, so we have to watch the language.
True.
But she's done yeoman's job here, and certainly it's appreciated.
Exactly.
Nope.
And, want very much to encourage her to keep doing it.
Agreed. Agreed.
I don't know who she is.
Lisa
Lisa
Bird?
Bird.
Oh, Lisa Bird. She
Yes.
does our.
Yes.
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 Yeah. I'd be happy to send her a thank you note
Oh, that would be lovely.
Oh, it'd be
from
lovely.
the board.
Thank you, Jean.
I read them online and they looked great to me, so I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from September 10th.
I would second.
Excellent. I have a motion and a second. If I could have a vote, please.
All in favor?
Those in favor, please.
Aye.
Those opposed? Wonderful.
Unanimous.
Passes unanimously. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you reviewing them prior to the meeting. I would ask that Nicole, please. Yes.
For Lisa's benefit.
Yes, sir.
Ben made the motion
Ben
and
made the
Richard
motion
made.
and Richard seconded.
She just asks for us to
Nope.
point that out.
Thank you very much. I would ask Nicole could enlighten us, please, with your director's report.
Right. So after 2 long months at the Pearl, we have offered our open youth services librarian position to Kathleen McGrath, who lives in Auburn. She is on vacation this week from her previous job, but has been in the library Monday and Tuesday, setting up her office. She's all ready for story time, which will begin next week. Hit the ground running the minute she walks in the door. So on October 10th, she was sent the letter from the town, grade 3, 40-hour-a-week position. She has been in library since 2018, will be attending probably the next trustees meeting so you guys can meet her. She's fantastic. But I invite you all to stop in and say hi to her. She's amazing. And so we're very, very happy to have her starting. The staff has been unbelievable with not missing a beat. That's a huge hole in the staffing, and everybody's done fantastic, which you will see from the staffing report. So we'll start with Deb. Deb was involved in the interviewing of the candidates for the Open Youth Services Librarian position. We did do 2 rounds. We did the first just general questions, and then the second interview they were told to bring their favorite story time with them and do a presentation as if we were children. I did have to stop Kathy mid story time and just tell her like what an amazing job she did. She incorporates sign language and kindness and learning. She sets up stations for kids to work on with their parents while they're in the room, age appropriate. She's such a win for the town of Dudley. We're very excited to have her. So
have we really been promoting Story Hour next week?
So yes, we
So
have.
she has children?
We have verbally been letting all parents that come into the library know. We've been very busy with Wiggles and Giggles, which have been on Mondays. She's changed the schedule around slightly because she pointed out that preschoolers typically go to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So to have their story time on a Wednesday is not the best idea. So I have a press release that I sent out today that will go into the Webster Times, and of course it's up on the website, Facebook. When she was in this week just getting set up, she actually recognized a lot of faces that were in from the Wiggles and Giggles, so that was pretty nice. People are very excited.
She'll be featured in the town newsletter too.
Yes,
Yeah.
Debbie said she's going to be for November.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful.
So we are very excited about that. So Deb helped with the interviewing. She also has become a Cricut expert, which is that paper cutting machine that lived in the children's room. If, be careful, like if you need anything cut, you go to Deb. She's been amazing with that thing. She's also filled the monthly guest reader slots through February. We have changed it from a weekly event to a monthly event. It's going to be the first Monday of every month is going to be the guest readers on Monday. Kathy is going to have a very full schedule in that room. We're finding that we can't get a huge crowd for every guest reader, and we might have a bigger impact just doing it once a month. But there'll be a lot of other things going on. So she's booked those for the library through February. And she's also scheduled a baby sign language program that's going to be starting in January. I put a little blurb so you guys could see what it is. It's an 8-week program. It's open to 12 families. And it teaches kids how to communicate before they're verbal with their families. It was a patron request from somebody who was going to another town to take it, and Deb researched it. And
Is it a state program?
no, it is run by Cheryl White. She's guided thousands of families, caregivers, teachers, and professionals through all areas of babies' growth and development since 1999. So she works with a lot of local libraries. And she talks about the benefits of baby sign language, reducing frustration, gives babies the ability to express themselves before they can speak, accelerates baby development. Kathy was thrilled when she heard, because she incorporates that into her.
My
into her
grandchildren
storytelling.
taught me sign language.
Did they?
Oh, yeah, they
And
did.
mine-
All these little
mine did
munchkins,
too.
they
That's
taught me.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Deb had a busy month, and she's doing her job and keeping everything going. Dawn has finished printing the spine labels for the children's picture books, which is huge. I don't know how they weren't organized. I have nothing to say about that. But anyway, we're getting there. Dawn is also has also cleaned up the home library field in Evergreen. So when we receive funding from the state, it comes from 3 buckets of money. So the home library is an important bucket because even for people that don't have a Dudley library card, if they live in the town of Dudley, that should be their home library. It doesn't have to be their pickup library, but it should be their home library because we do receive money based on that field. So Dawn cleaned up that report for us. It was 7 pages long. I don't know if it's ever been done, which
Wow.
is, now it's been done, so it's good.
Thank you, Dawn.
Yeah. And Anne completed the OCLC record manager training this month. I requested that she take that. I think it's really important for Anne, especially working in the tech services, to really stay up to date with her training. I know that in the past she's worn a lot of different hats, but we're really trying to keep her in the tech services department, so some additional training is really beneficial, and she enjoyed it a lot. She's also overseeing the magazine collection now and changed the Blu-ray DVD records to comply with the CW Mars request. So those little things that maybe fall through the cracks, Anne has more time to catch them. Just little housekeeping things for the library. Jubilee has just absolutely changed the children's room with those book bundles. I can't wait to see the stats this month for those. She's done an outstanding job. She has taken the lead with making sure that all the selections in the children's room remain fresh and organized, and she works closely with Deb on take and make crafts, willing to do anything. So I think that's been really great. Everybody's been fantastic, and I was gonna actually bring Lena's craft for the month of October. Lena's got her hands in a little bit of everything, but has a really hard time tooting her own horn. Her adult crafternoons have been received really well.
This is pine cones flowers
yeah,
this month?
Yeah, you should see them. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I was going to bring them and I forgot them, so I apologize for that. So thank you to the staff for bobbing and weaving and keeping us moving forward for the past 2 months. I so appreciate it, and I know that the community does too. So the community survey ended on October 7th. This is for the strategic plan, we had 235 responses.
Oh, that's good.
We received an additional 22 surveys when we attended the Apple Fest on October 5th. Deb and I went over on Saturday. It was a lot of fun. So that's officially off the website. I'm going to compile the responses if you guys would like to see it before I start putting everything into the report. I can bring that with me next month. which,
Thank you.
well, actually not next month, 2 weeks, in 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks.
Right.
Thank you.
Library card sign-up month, as everybody knows, was in September. It was a fun fall challenge for us. Our goal was to sign up 170 new patrons, which was absurd, but that's what we went for. The initiative was advertised in Webster Times, Facebook, and Instagram. We posted flyers at Dippin' Donuts, post office, town hall, local schools, including Bay Path. Deb and Jubilee went to Shepherd Hill on Thursday the 12th, September 12th, to sign up teens, and Nicole and Deb visited the Dudley Senior Center on the 26th.
It was really nice to see those numbers.
Yeah, so we were able to sign up 141 new patrons in September, which we
That is
didn't hit our
wonderful.
goal, but we did well. Another 28 at the Apple Fest. If we had run September 1 through October 6th, we would have been at 174 patrons. So
You've reached your goal.
we didn't, but we were very happy of it.
We're very
about it.
proud of you.
Thanks.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
It was a lot of fun. So if anybody wants the actual number breakout, I know it was just, you got the colors. I have it if
No,
you want it.
The statistics are great.
Yep.
Those are so fun to look at.
Oh, good. And then I just threw in the patrons by month, so you could really see the trend of, obviously, the peaks are when we do the school visits. That's probably one of the first things Kathy and I are gonna talk about, is getting the school visits done now, and then again at the end of the year, because we're missing a lot of opportunity there. So yeah, that was a lot of fun for September. So facility update, Renaud completed the pipe reventing on the outside of the building, also replacement of the circulating pump in the mechanical room. So next steps were siding, which is on my list. Renaud has since been back to the building. We had some issues with the summer-winter switchover. They're gonna have to come back, and, well, stay tuned. 2 weeks, you'll get another update. How's that? Rockburn, who is our camera security company, came back. When we did the original upgrade a couple of months ago, there were 3 cameras that were communicating with the server correctly, but they were not recording properly and consistently, so I had him come back and just replace the final 3, because it's really important for us to be able to get the footage when we need it. So that is all set. I do have to buy a new battery backup for the tech room, which is on my list to do this week. It's just not holding power for a long enough period of time. So when we lose power, sometimes it doesn't, hold out as long as I need it to. So I'm just gonna get a new one. I've also called the roofers back to address additional delaminating shingles. They are actually coming tomorrow, so he was gonna come today, but they had a scheduling.
If I may, a question.
Yeah.
Do we have any sense of how long our roof is good for?
So I'm gonna ask him that again. The last answer that I got from him was the shingles are delaminating. Do you have a leak? Not that I know of. Okay. He doesn't have that magic wand, but it's something I did talk to Olivia about and said, if we have to put in a capital request, how much time do we need to
Right.
get ahead of it? So it's probably something that we'll starting to look at next year.
Right.
Shingles used to have a lot longer lifespan,
They don't.
and now they're only at like 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
And that's
And
us.
we're right at
That's
the
us.
cusp of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's a big roof.
But if you can get,
It
yeah,
is.
get.
It's gonna cost
if you
a
can get
lot.
some, professional opinions on our roof, that would
Yeah.
be very helpful, because it always takes at least a couple go-arounds
Oh,
to
yes.
get into capital
Yeah.
improvements list, so.
And if there's any grant out there, I know that's one of the things that Olivia is well versed in as far as grants. So if there's any money somehow offsetting some of that cost, because it's going to be substantial, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing I would say is that better to get ahead of it now than once we do develop leaks.
Yes.
Because I know of a building that had some roof leaks and it ended up causing mold in the bathroom ceilings and then mold in the walls, and they had to tear, we don't want to have to go through that.
Yeah.
So thank you for staying ahead of that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll ask him tomorrow to take another peek. Yeah.
Power washing, that building looks great.
Doesn't it look so good? If you haven't swung, oh,
And the
it's
sign.
so good.
Yeah.
It has changed color.
It's really the color.
I drove up that first day, I went, was it really that color?
Like, you'll notice right away.
Oh, my Lord,
Yeah,
yes.
just
Oh,
not
yeah.
How
having
about the
this.
sign?
All the signs that she's
Yeah.
done.
The sign out front?
Yeah.
All of them, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Just not having the cobwebs in the entryway. I don't know if you noticed how bad they
Seasonal.
were. No. Nope. I was so happy. I was like, oh. And after it was funny, he did that entryway first, and I went out to do something, and I look, and there's like 60,000 spiders. I was like, what's happening? He's like, it's fine, it's just because it's wet. And it does look great. I was very happy
it
with
does.
it. They did a fantastic job.
Great.
So,
And they did the roof, which
They
I didn't
did.
know they did.
yeah,
I arrived to see them on the roof. I
Power
went,
wash the roof?
they-
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No, they spray it with a chemical.
Yep.
And then it eats away naturally over time, like supposed to be 3 or 4 days. There's only a couple like striations on the roof now. Most of it's gone.
Great.
I don't know if they need to put a little
I didn't know that.
coat on
I'm
it.
sorry, I didn't think you were supposed to power wash. I'm like, oh, we're talking about delaminating.
Not like this. It's called a gentle wash.
yes.
They kiss
Yeah, it
you.
was just a spray
Yeah.
when I walked out.
Oh,
Just on those two
Good guys
sides
up
that
there.
don't have the soil.
I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah.
They left those alone.
Good. I can't wait to be retired. See all the things that happen during the day.
Oh.
The staff attended the town cookout at the fire station on September 12th. Thank you to Ben for covering at the library. We were a little short
Fed
that
me.
day.
You brought food back.
I did bring you a hamburger.
You fed me.
I did. I got stuck in traffic, but I brought you a hamburger. Town meeting was last night. I just added that. Our extra monies for the salary for the youth services librarian was approved. So that should be all set. And the good news is that gets us to our MAR for 2026 too.
Excellent.
Which is great. New and upcoming programs, Senator Fatman will be in the building again October 16th is already gone, but he'll be back on November 20th. I think the residents really appreciate that because there has not been one meeting that we haven't seen some people coming in to meet with them, which is great. The spooky parade is this Thursday at 4 o'clock. So we went to the rec meeting with Jen. Deb and I both went to kind of talk about it because neither of us have been to it. So we have put out an invitation to kids to come to the library at 3 o'clock because we're gonna do like little bat glow sticks.
I love it.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
So, yeah, Deb, this is the cricket. Deb knows how to cut a bat really well.
course.
She did like 150 of them, so we'll have enough for each child to decorate
So
one.
sweet.
Yeah, so we're excited about that, and then we'll do the parade up to Town Hall. Lena's gonna work some extra
So
hours.
they're gonna have this? and
Everyone's
everything?
gonna
Oh,
have
it's
one,
great,
yeah.
'cause it gets dark, so it's gonna.
Yeah, so it'll be fun.
Horrible.
It was confusing because some of the posters say 3 to 6 and
Yeah.
others say 4 to 6. So, I volunteered to work with the Dudley Women's Club to
Mhm.
prepare the food.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure. I saw, they told us at 4 and then I saw 3.
So it's just
So
3
3
because
o'clock
it's
is
at the library. So 3 to 3:45 we'll do the glow sticks. So, and then the parade will go up at 4. I think Debbie LaPlaca changed it in the press release just so people didn't miss out on the glow stick portion of it if they wanted to do it.
Nice.
The staff has a themed costume this year. Thank
Oh,
you
dear.
to a unanimous donor.
Oh, my.
Will
Remain
remain
nameless.
Yeah, remain nameless. But
Is it on
Lena.
someone on this table?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Lena is going to be working, she agreed to come back and do a split shift, and she's gonna work up at the town hall with us because we're expecting quite a crowd, so we're hoping. Jubilee and Dawn will be on site to manage the library building, and Deb will be working till 6:30. Ann's gonna work through the crafting, and then she'll take off. And we do have a couple volunteers, but not quite as many as I thought we were gonna see. The teens, we haven't been able to make a good connection. I think it's the sports that are still kind of getting in the way of the volunteering, so. but we're excited
Soccer
about
is
that. Mm-hmm.
wrapping up, high school level, and cross country, I think finishes either the end of this week or next week.
Nice,
I'm
nice.
surprised there's like honor society, because there's nobody looking for hours.
The representative from Shepherd Hill posted the event for me, and
Oh,
she
okay.
did not get any takers, so I think I'm gonna have to go after the national junior honor
The
society.
junior high kids.
Right,
Yeah.
because I think those kids need.
And you get volunteers at the end of the year when they all sudden need
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
They need their hours. It's like, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got?
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, we get them.
Exactly. This Saturday, the 26th, is Spooky Bones and Creepy Crawlies. That is best for ages 5+. It starts at 11 o'clock. Registration is required. There are open spots. If anybody would like to register, please call the library or go to the website. Jubilee is doing a special Halloween story time on Monday, 10/28. That is literacy night at the school too in Dudley, so that's going to be tough. But you know, we will be having that Halloween story time nonetheless. Deb Sing and Swing will be back with us on Friday, November 1st. That is not Deb Coggins, that is Deb Hudgens. She drew quite a crowd when she was in a couple of weeks ago. Put her in the Fells room. We're actually thinking about buying a children's rug to roll up and keep in the closet, because it was really, it changed the whole experience for the kids and for Deb, just having them to be able to have room to spread out on the rug in there. True Crime Book Club is Friday, November 1st at 11 a.m. Deb is getting quite a little following. I think last month she had, I'd have to look, I don't remember, but.
I was looking at the numbers,
Right?
I
Did
thought
you
it was
see that?
fantastic.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden there, she had 7 people show up on a Friday afternoon, so.
Cool.
Yeah, they love it. Our guest reader for November 4th is music teacher Julie Winans, so she'll be here in the Storytime room at 6 o'clock. And then on Wednesday the 6th, is an opportunity to participate with the community input for strategic plan session at 11 a.m. On the 7th, Thursday night, Matt York is joining us. He had to push our date out a little bit, which actually ended up working great because Webster had him a couple of days before our first date that we had scheduled, and we weren't aware of that, so that was very good. On the 12th, we have local author Gail Olmsted to talk about her Catherine's Remarkable Road Trip book. It's been very well received from a lot of patrons at the library that have borrowed it, so they're excited about that. That's an afternoon program at 1 o'clock. Lena will be doing her Pinecone Flowers on Wednesday the 13th at 2. Please sign up for that. Thursday the 14th is your chance to do the evening community input for strategic plan at 6 o'clock. I believe I have one person signed up for that right now.
How is that gonna run? What's your thoughts on that?
So I have questions, and then I have the SOAR exercise that I think I would like to do with the group. Usually I think they do it like as a visioning exercise, but feedback from that I've heard from other people are like, I don't know, like visioning what type of town you want to live in, or what type of community does that translate into what we can do for the library. So I don't know if a SOAR analysis kind of keeps us a little bit closer to giving us, you know, good information.
Okay.
I wanted to have the exercise with the friends this past week, but we only had half a group. I don't know if it was the change of date maybe, so I did not do that exercise with them, but I invited them to sign up for one of these events. So you guys are obviously welcome to sign up, and that would be great, because then you can, if you don't have if you're not in a quorum, like you're not violating that open meeting law piece, right? So anybody wants to come, I would love to have you.
Well, as long as we're not talking about business that we have to vote on.
Okay, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That would be great. Felted Fox program on the 14th of November. That's for adults. That's needle felting, which we're excited about. People love that. The graphic novel book club, even though it was in the paper, has not really taken off with the kids. I don't know if that has to do with the subject, or there's no interest, or it's the sports, or if it just needs a little bit more time. So I'm going to leave that up to Kathy to decide how she wants to move forward. The Pokemon Club has been advertised just as much and started at the same time, and the kids are crazy. And we have a full house. We have a really good time with them. So we'll see. Maybe that's not right. Maybe that's not what the kids are looking for right now.
And your D&D group is still doing okay?
Excellent. Every week.
Good.
They're great
the attendance
kids.
seems like it's more than 6 at least.
Oh, every week. And we actually moved the teen room around, so the booth is open now instead of closed.
Nice.
So it's a long table, and they love it
Yeah.
because they don't have to move tables, they can spread out, and yeah, it's worked really well. So we're excited about that. Family yoga, Saturday, November 16th. We had our first one last weekend. I think we had 4 people show up. But this is the first time we've done it on a Saturday, so it's gonna take a little bit of time, I think. And then Monday, the 18th, is Introduction to Tracking. So it's going to be discover the tracks of local mammals, make a track rubbing, and even a cast to take home. This is ages 5+. All right, so programs and services. We had 101 kids participate in the scavenger hunt in the children's room. 108 theme bundles were borrowed from the children's room. 108. Think of how many that is a week. They just walk by and they grab those bundles. They love them. And we had the directors roundtable at the library a couple of weeks ago, which I'll talk about at the next meeting. But many of the directors stopped and were like, "Oh, what's this?" So they took pictures. So they're like, "That's a great idea," because parents want that convenient piece. Yeah.
Grab and run.
We have 5 new signups for 1,000 books before kindergarten. 112 children rebuilt the tumble bot after aggressively knocking it over. They love it. 14 kids entered to win the back to school supplies. We had 2 winners for that. We gave out 50 take and make crafts in September. 4 adult puzzles were completed by 21 different people. And then we put out those metal puzzle pieces. People love to play with
Oh,
those.
yeah.
The
The fidgets.
And they're like, they're like nails that are twisted together, and you have to figure out how to
Oh,
untwist them. There's
okay.
like 6
Yes,
different
fidgets,
ones.
okay,
Social media following, it's still going up. It seems like, I don't know, it seems to everything is leveling off a little bit. Instagram is still doing well, so I always look forward to see next month's numbers. All right, so library traffic. I know I overthink things, but I know. So I told you guys that we moved the people counter to the front doors because I'm really trying to get the true number of how many people are coming in and out of the library.
Right.
So we're trending better than we have in the past. The number looks much lower. Based on what I've seen for the difference between the gates and the front doors, I believe that the FY24 number is, even though it's much lower, is still, yeah, it's less accurate than it should be, because that was the gate number. So you'll have to bear with me for the rest of this year, probably next year, as I get over what the trend actually looks like. I hate to, like, if I had used the gate numbers, that number for this month would have been 5,000 something. But I know that that's not an accurate number now after watching what's happening. So at some point we have to pull the Band-Aid off and go with real numbers. So there's the Band-Aid. Okay? Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a ride this year, so we'll see. We'll see. We've tried it every way, and I have all the columns of different numbers. I don't wanna, bog anybody down, but the trend is the trend, so. We're still doing well, it's just not as,
It's not what I want.
not what I want to see, but we'll have to work harder to get more people in the building. Stats are still doing well. Adults print, yep, sorry.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
Have you compared your numbers to local libraries at all?
You can't really, numbers through the door, some people have people counters, some people estimate them, so there's really nothing to compare. We can compare circulation statistics. We do report to the state on the numbers through the door, but how do you?
Right, you
you're
don't know how they're
reporting- yeah,
counting,
like
yeah.
exactly.
It's
You're
apples and
reporting what you
oranges.
report,
Yeah. Okay.
so.
All right.
And it's too bad. I mean, the library's set up beautifully, but like even if we went with an automated system, the way that the sensors sit, I don't know if it would even make a difference. I think we can't really get a true count of the children's room. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, it's the only bad thing about having an open building is it's
Yeah.
really hard.
Are there any other open libraries that you can pick their brain on how they're getting their numbers?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there
Is
are
there a
some.
different way to do what you're trying to do?
I'm not sure. I think we're getting the best data that we can get with what we have.
Is there
You know.
better?
I can't answer that, I don't know. I think the thing that's really throwing the numbers off is the staff. How many times, sort of like, say you put a sensor in the children's room, in the door, it's counting every time a staff member walks back and forth. You know what I mean? If you want a true number, it's really the front doors, how many people
Right.
are coming in and out. But that doesn't, it doesn't break the data down enough for someone that has,
Right.
like, that wants that data like I do, you know. So the girls do tally marks, so we can see how many people are coming into the children's room daily. So just so we can see when our peak days are and staff accordingly. But, you know, we make errors too, so. But it's, you know, I just, as long as we're seeing that continued growth,
Yep.
I think it's
The
good.
trend is the key, really. The individual number is an arbitrary number.
Right.
But your trending is what we're really looking
Right.
for, I think.
We just want to make sure people are still
Yeah.
using the library, yeah.
And just an eyeball thing, I think anybody who's been in the library with any frequency, there's just a lot more going on. There are a lot more people, and it's just a very active place, or much more so than it had been in the past, so.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, no number associated with that, but.
Staff must have a good sense of that.
Yeah, I think so, and that's why I feel like this month we know that it's slowed down, which is, again, we're slightly thankful for because we're down like a full-time person, you know? But summer reading was very busy, so that's why I think we're feeling like, oh, what's, you know, are we offering enough? Are we offering the right things? So the circulation stats are still really good. Adults collection is up 16%, the children's collection's up 81%, and the youth, the young adults collection is up 53%. That's all digital items, physical items. Digital items are still climbing also, for those are up 34%. So overall, the whole collection, digital and physical, we're still up 40% year over year.
If I may, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what this indicates, but the adult volumes of print periodicals, newspapers, 11 versus 47? Have we changed our subscriptions?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we have. So Amazon, we used to be able to order individual magazines. A lot of libraries use Amazon. They no longer offer that service. So we switched over to a magazine subscription service called Revistas. And they bundle everything together and they send it out to you. Everything had been ordered and not necessarily shipped. So Anne has taken over making sure that the magazines are arriving at the library when they should be. There is probably 6 or 7 that we're still waiting to come back. So like People magazine, we didn't have for July, August, and nobody caught it until September. And then by then, you're already 2 months behind. So we're working on that,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Something Joyce mentioned before we started our meeting officially was a question in regards to newspapers, whether we have the e-edition version or the hard copy version. I know that the Worcester Telegram, for example, isn't cheap any longer. It never was, I suppose. But a lot of folks have reverted to the e-version. We still have a hard copy on the shelf in the library.
We do,
Is it our intent to continue with that?
yes,
The
people.
same with the Times and the Boston Globe as well?
I'm not convinced people are using the Saturday edition of the Boston Globe. I might do away with that. Definitely keeping the Sunday edition. We have people that come to the library every day to read the
Read the
paper,
newspaper,
every
yeah.
day, and they like the physical paper.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, yep. And it counts towards our materials expenditure, so that's also good. But people really do like the newspaper. So hopefully that magazine number will turn around, I'm hoping November. So my apologies for that. We should have
No problem.
caught on to that a little bit quicker. And then September, we had 54 programs with 513 participants, a little bit of something for everyone.
Do we have a suggestion box or something like that? So if we have a patron who's interested in something that we don't currently offer right now, they can present it, or do they just approach the staff?
They usually talk to us. Richard has asked for that before and it is on my list to do. I think having that is nice. We have the whiteboard up right now, which I'm using for the strategic plan, where it asks, I put up a different question every 2 weeks and let people write on it. We have gotten feedback from, I asked what type of digital resources or technology do you think the library should focus on over the next 5 years? We actually got a lot of good feedback on that question. So I think having a suggestion box would be good. We could even do something online. Unfortunately, we were told that our website provider is going out of business.
Oh, no.
So I have to find a new website provider within a year. We have a group of directors have gotten together. I think Karen named us the orphans or something. So we're working, because most libraries in this area
Same
use
one.
that same one. And the provider's been really great giving us options. A lot of them are much more expensive than what we're used to, but as you guys know, we just updated or upgraded the website. So
Right.
it hurts,
Yeah.
but we'll be fine. So that's something that we can probably incorporate into our new webpage when I begin to look at that.
Good.
That's always a challenge.
Yes, yes, and then Plymouth Rocket, which is one of the reservation systems that library uses, we had that last year, but before we switched over to Assabet, they are also going out of business. So I'm glad that we have Assabet on board. That was a win.
I find it interesting that they're going out of business.
Yeah, yeah, and nobody, I don't, yeah,
Like, why?
I don't know. I know ours, he was ready to retire, and that he is going to be retiring, so.
That's what I thought might be the
Yeah.
case, yeah.
Yeah, Plymouth Rocket, I don't know why. I know that they just they told libraries they could no longer add events to what they have, which is a problem.
Mhm.
So Anne Marie Safai was in 2 weeks ago, and she wanted to talk about the furniture in the children's room. She asked if we had plans to reupholster. She thinks it's time to do it. And I said, yes, we talked about it as a group. I got an email from the Mass Department of Corrections. They offer a reupholstery service. I've reached out to Mayor Fabrics, and that's the fabric company that the Mass Department of Corrections works with, to talk to them about colors and fabric samples. I haven't heard back from her yet. When I do, she will overnight us samples that we can look at. At that point, it goes to Mass Department of Corrections for a quote, and they'll let us know what it's gonna cost. So we have to have an idea of what we want for fabric picked out first, so I don't know anything other than that. But we're gonna get some information, and hopefully I'll have something maybe in the
How many
next 2 weeks.
pieces?
We really need both sofas done, right? And I think we have 6 chairs in the children's room. Originally, I was thinking that we could just kind of round robin them and do like 2 at a time, but I think it might be better to just send them all out to be done and just get them done. I don't know what it's gonna cost.
What's that, a lot of folding chairs in the interim?
I don't know. I don't know what the lead time is either. They're
Yeah, that's-
local.
That could be critical
Yeah,
too,
that's-
how
you know,
long it takes.
He might say, I'm gonna take 2, and when I drop off the 2, I'm gonna pick another
Pick up
2
two.
up.
That's true,
I don't-
too.
I don't know.
That would be a great option
Yeah.
if that was available.
Yeah, I'm not
I'll
sure
be
yet.
anxious to see and hear about the quotes,
Yes, so,
because I think it's gonna be a lot more money than.
everything is a lot of money, but we're in a good position. We have money that needs to be spent out of the state aid account. It's a great way to spend some of the money. We have not received our payment this year yet, which is gonna bring us right back up to where we started before we bought some of those computers, so.
Good.
I'll let you guys know, and we'll kind of figure it out together. So that's that, the roof. So November, our last thing that we have going on is we're doing November is give something, get something at the library. So there's 3 ways to give. You either bring us 5 non-perishable, unexpired food items for the Webster Dudley Food Share, fulfill a heart wish off the library giving tree, which I will give you the flyer so you can see what that is, or donate a new and unused set of hat and gloves that go to the Boys and Girls Club of Webster, and you get a surprise donated by the Glimmer Project. Deb is at it again. She received 600 pieces from the Glimmer Foundation. It is a very, very high-end shampoo, conditioner, and hair mist. People will receive one of those if they do one of the 3 things: give something, get something.
I love it.
Deb has traditionally worked with Seven Hills Foundation every November. They've asked to continue to work with us this year. So what they do is they provide local children in need with wishes. So that children put their wishes in. We put it up on a heart patrons or people visiting the library can pick a heart. They can purchase 1, 2, or all 3 of the items. All gifts must be new and unwrapped and returned back to the Crawford Library by December 6th. We're gonna start with 25 names, and if those are filled, then we can get more names, and we'll see how it goes. So November is give a little, get a little.
Take your word.
I love that.
I have no idea.
Very nice.
And the reason we're doing the Webster Dudley Food Share is we have a patron who visits us almost daily, who really wanted to do the food donations. So we thought it was a good
Very
way to
sweet.
kick off something positive. Richard, do you want to see the shampoo and conditioner?
No, that's quite all right. Ben found that they were very useful.
This is really
and,
nice. This is really nice.
will be a great opportunity for people.
Yeah.
I'll go
Well, I
with
have to say,
it.
both the men on our trustees at least still have hair. Can I just say?
Thank you, thank you.
It's time to stuff stockings almost.
Well,
Ho, ho, ho.
I think Joyce just said something nice about us.
Ben's still reading.
It's been a long time coming.
I'm ignoring what's going around me.
Nice.
Best to let it go by.
Yep.
Well, Nicole, please send our appreciation and our praises back to the employees, because you folks are totally above and beyond. I'm continuously amazed when I see the things that are going on, and the old things that continue to have new life breathed into them, and the new ideas I just think are fabulous.
Yeah.
So thank you so
And it
much to
continues
all
to
of
be
you.
the spirit.
Yeah.
It's crazy in there. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we have a good time. Ben had a scavenger hunt this week, but we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. But you're all welcome to come to the library. Things have changed. Richard, if you walk into the library and you don't tell me immediately what's changed, I'm gonna be upset. You will notice
Trust me,
right
I got
away.
picked on because I didn't know it immediately.
There had been books.
Oh, have you been in?
Yeah, you get these
Oh.
kits now that are on there. That surprised me. I don't know, where'd the books go?
Yeah, did you find them?
I didn't really go looking for them, but I'm assuming they're in there somewhere.
The staff is supposed to escort people to the new section.
Oh, wonderful.
We're very excited about it. We've got a lot of feedback, good feedback. So we moved the shelving unit, like if you're looking at the patron computers, there was a shelving unit behind it that had puzzles on it. That was pushed over into the book section, which is a lot brighter and easier for people to see. And it also enables us to keep out the new books for a full year, because once they go on the stacks, they disappear. So those are all out. Deb and I did that Friday. That was a lot of fun. Actually, Dawn was there too. We had a good time.
You know what you're doing?
What's that?
You're forcing us to pay attention.
Yes, that is exactly what we're doing, and
All right.
people love it. So and
That's the
we-
challenge
The
then.
Yeah.
teacher trick right there.
Right?
Keeping everybody
That's right.
sharp.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
We
the
opened up
challenge.
some of the reading areas, same chairs, same tables reconfigured, so that's a little bit more inclusive, so less little pods of places and more open spaces.
I
So
didn't know we had so many wing chairs.
That
You look
was
down
Ben's
at the
comment.
look down the periodical and there's a massive wing chairs. I said, "We had that many in this building."
Oh, nice.
And they were all right there too, which is funny. but
Just
it
a whole
feels-
different, just
yeah.
a different configuration. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, it feels
Keep
good,
changing
so.
it up.
Yeah. We had a passing of somebody that lived in town, Roberta Bartel. Her granddaughter reached out to me this week. We did receive some donations in her memory. Heather would like us at the library to do something special to honor the memory of her grandmother. I asked if we could have a couple weeks to think about it. We're going to come up with something really special for her. Roberta was a lifelong learner. She loved to read. She loved to inspire her family to read. So they wanted to either do like a reading corner in her memory, or do a special shelf that the family could come in and change out periodically with new items. Don't know if the room is really set up for that. I think we can do something special in the storytime room. We talked about maybe doing wonder books or doing STEM kits, maybe a special reading chair in the storytime room. She was open to all of those ideas. So we're gonna talk over the next couple of weeks and see if we can come up with something special for the family. So if you guys have any ideas or wanna be involved in that, let me know. I thought that was really nice of them to do
When I
that.
was teaching, we actually had a rocking chair that was donated to our classroom in the
Oh,
memory of a
yes.
grandparent.
Yes, yeah.
And there was a little plaque on the back of it, which I always thought was so nice.
It
And-
is nice.
And it was, you know, when we would sit down, I would say, and this was Grammy Nini's chair. And I would tell the kids about who Grammy Nini was. And she used to
Oh.
come in and read when her grandkids were at the school. And they were just, it was just nice to have.
It is nice.
It's really like
Yeah.
helping perpetuate someone's memory and what have you, so.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to hear what you folks come up with. That's great.
Yeah. And that brings us to the budgets. You guys all have the up-to-date budgets. This includes payroll and, bills through last week. This does not include anything that was entered this week. Does anybody have any questions?
I hope we don't need any building maintenance between now and next July.
So I'm
Mm.
intentionally paying that down. It's, I think that some of the accounts need to be moved around to better capture what's actually being spent out of accounts. And that's what I'm trying to work on this year. Obviously, paying attention to that bottom line budget. I'm not gonna leave anything on the table this year. But I wanna make sure that when I'm doing my state reports, it's easier to pull information over. So you'll see some lines might be overpaid, but they will be compensated for the
Other
bottom
places.
line.
Yeah, we're bottom lines.
Ben is working very closely with me on that. He's, always knows the reason why I'm paying some of those invoices out of different accounts.
Nicole,
Yes.
is the Helen Piasta Trust something new?
No, and I don't know, that was one that when I was running the accounts, it came up on. I don't know if that is an unexpendable amount. Sarah, the new town accountant, and I will be sitting together hopefully in the next couple of months, and she's gonna help me set up my chart of accounts so they're easier to move things into other reporting items. So I will definitely ask her about that one. And see if we can figure out what it is. Or Rich, I can ask
Yeah.
Rich, I'm sure he knows.
There should be another one there. Oh, I forgot,
All right, any other questions or concerns, folks? That's good. Our next item on our agenda is the library survey update, which I believe you did touch a little bit on, Nicole.
Yep, I think we're on track to get that strategic plan completed for January. I think and I'll let you know if I am running into any hiccups. I think with having Kathy on board, I should be able to dedicate some more time to getting that pulled together. But we've begun to create or, compile really good data so far, so.
Usually the employee reviews are done right around this time. Is that
Okay.
something being done this year, or?
So I got an email that they were due in December.
That's halfway, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I will let you know. I will check and let you know on that.
They had specific forms to follow.
Right.
I am going to take advantage of this moment right now just to mention those dates again. The November 6th will be the daytime meeting. If you want to present some ideas towards that strategic plan development. And the evening meeting will be on November 14th. Are those going to be in the Fells room or?
Most likely, I think one of them is in the local history room.
Okay.
And then one of them might actually be out in one of the reading areas.
Okay, perfect. So just keep your eyes open if there's anyone in the public that is interested in going. I'm going to try to go to that evening one.
Oh, great.
Okay. All right. Next on our agenda is the reviewing of the trustee bylaws. I believe everyone has a copy of those.
Joyce, I believe you mentioned in Article 5, 6, the last sentence in there, the library director or designee will provide to the board a monthly statement
Yeah.
of invoices paid.
Well, no, she gives it to us. How often are you providing it to us? Is it weekly, the bills that are being paid?
I'm trying to find my rhythm with it. I'm finding that when I do the bills and they're signed off on,
Yeah.
I have to put them in my spreadsheet, but they haven't been entered by the town yet, and then I don't want to give you information until it's official with the town, but Ben has to sign off on it. So I'm gonna try to get in the cycle of
Okay.
weekly, but it might be closer to like, I don't know, 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, I think it's more that they're being signed by, like, we're putting in for payment. Now, I don't think that I'm as concerned that they're coming up here and it's being put into the budget. I think it's more or less seeing what bills are being paid weekly, like, we're doing our end. Like, what's being signed off on is what I wanted to see. What's being signed off on, what are the bills this week? That was my,
So Vadar, which is the system that the town uses, isn't updated. It's always behind what we're doing. So it's gonna be very manual for me to create a report for you on a weekly basis.
I'm just thinking, now, you get a check-off sheet?
Yes.
Yeah. What about just a check-off sheet?
yeah, what's
After
on
we
the
approve it,
check-on
though.
sheet?
But,
What's on the?
Right
The
after it's
summary
approved.
sheet,
yeah, but those are not necessarily paid yet.
they're not
It doesn't
paid
have
yet.
to be paid. I'm just saying that these are the bills that we're putting in, we're submitting for
Just looking for
payment.
visibility.
It's visibility.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, they're always
Scanning
sitting
it
there
into a
in the,
PDF and sending it.
We used to all have to sign it.
Yeah.
So the visibility was forced.
they're always in the folder. And we send that, as you say, that one sheet, what I'm initialing,
Mhm.
that's been paid.
So the only thing that worries me is if we do it that way with a summary sheet, like Ben looks at the invoice and says, oh, Renaud, and then he reads what it is and we have a conversation about it. If I just send you a summary sheet, it's not gonna tell you anything. It's just gonna say Amazon,
It's for.
2318, you know,
Because
Nicole
the
Messier.
stack is this
Right.
thick if you want to get the bills themselves, but the checkoff list would give you.
Right.
And then, I suppose if you
If
had
you
a
have a
question, you can go
question,
in and ask.
Yes.
Yeah, go in and ask.
Yeah.
I mean, you're there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason to let, yeah, because
No,
that's what I
That
do.
would
If
be
I have
the
a question,
easiest thing
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
I think.
It's what?
Just, that would be the easiest thing.
And that's-
Just to make a copy.
Being the
of-
the easiest thing would be doing it, getting it from Vadar, once the town has
paid
submitted,
it.
has entered it. Like, it's a lot of, I can do it if you guys want it on a weekly basis, I can give you the summary sheet for sure. The easiest thing would be to do, and to wait until the town has cut the checks, and then just run the report manually. That's what that system is set up for.
Do you send bills in weekly? I mean, do you
I
send?
try to get them done, yeah, weekly. You know, usually I shoot for Wednesday, sometimes it's, sometimes it's Friday.
You make it
Yeah, sometimes it's Friday, and sometimes they don't enter those bills even
Till the
till the
next week.
following
Right,
week,
right, so there-
you know?
there's a
And then,
delay.
yeah, and then once those bills are entered,
I think
those
it's more for
don't-
visibility. What's being submitted.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for.
Hello.
I moved.
Spectacular.
I have no problem with those. I mean, once they leave your hand, Nicole, they go to the town and they get paid. I have no problem looking and seeing these are the bills that were submitted
Yes. Mhm.
from the library to be paid. And, or these are the bills that were paid. I'd rather see it be easier for you because
Yeah, the check
you do a
up
lot of
after-
extra work.
After Ben signs and he's checked, like, that sheet's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be extra work. It's just, and if if any of us have a question, then we can question it, but.
Regard to the bylaws, I'm looking at section 1.4. In the event of a vacancy or vacancies on the trustees prior to the end of the individual's term of office, the trustees shall recommend to the Board of Selectmen the names of acceptable replacements within 30 days. Given various vacation schedules, and I know we reschedule our meetings from time to time, I don't know that do we want to tie us down to a 30-day window, that seems easy to go off track for
I don't
no other
think we've
reason
done
than
it,
holidays.
I don't think we've done it within 30 days.
No, I don't think we have either
No.
necessarily. So it seems like a pretty arbitrary number, and why we have it there, I'm not sure. Just say that, you know, replacement within a reasonable period of time or something to that effect, as opposed to putting an actual number on it.
Just get rid of within 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, put a period.
That's, be done with it. I don't know how it got in there.
There may be something written somewhere that said that should happen, but
Oh.
I can't remember.
And it may be that way to ensure that.
We do it.
That the absent spot is filled because of our specific number. I mean, if we ended up having an even number of us and we couldn't get things passed or what have, like, that could be an issue.
Well-
So 30 may have been to encourage us to just keep moving and,
But I think we have done that in
Oh,
the
yeah.
past. We keep moving, but depending on getting people together and everything else.
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't always
contingent on
work.
it. That's not as easy as it used to be.
No, it's really like trying to herd cats sometimes, especially with all these extended vacations overseas, you know.
When we first put these
I have to throw one in.
bylaws together.
And he's not just talking about me.
I'm so sorry.
When we put these together a number of years ago, I did submit them to the Mass Board of Library Commissioners, just to review them. And they said basically, just be careful about putting specific times in
Yeah.
there. You know, just keep it more general information.
So how did we ever start with that within 30 days then?
I don't know,
That's weird.
it could be written somewhere, or, there was something with the town. I don't know, in the town bylaws, it might say something about a certain
Oh.
amount of time.
It's probably one of those things that seemed like a good idea at the time,
the
but
time.
maybe the time has passed. All right, do we need a motion to make the change
Well, at the
then?
last meeting, we made a change, Pat. What was the change that we made?
It was something that you suggested about the statements,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. I thought there was more.
But we're gonna keep it at that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
then, do we want to change section 5.6 to just being submitted to the town, period? Each week is, as soon as they're submitted to the town, they'll come to us, right? And if for some reason you don't submit 1 week, we're not in violation of our own bylaws. Does that make sense, or do you want to keep that parameter?
No, I think what's there is
Keeping it as.
keeping it as.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're pretty good at that.
Yeah. 5.8, to
Yep.
accept and acknowledge gifts to the library. Do we do every little gift? I mean, gets.
What are
I
you
mean, we
on,
get,
which one?
5.8.
I think we should be acknowledging our gifts.
I'm just saying, we don't acknowledge, we say well, that's acknowledging it, because, I mean, people bring books constantly, I
Can
mean.
we put
and
an
that's-
acknowledgement on the website?
I don't
You
know.
know, thank you for so-and-so for donating this, whatever,
The
or just
shelf.
for making a
I agree we
donation in the
should,
month
but
of
I'm just
September.
saying,
It's just
every
simply
little
as vague
thing.
as that.
No,
I mean, we,
I don't know if we should. Do you think people want their name on there for?
I wouldn't think so.
I
no,
don't.
some
yeah.
don't.
Right,
Like,
and so
yeah, some
you'd have to then go through and
Oh.
ask, do you want to be recognized
Yeah.
publicly, or?
I just,
Do
is there a
we-
better
do we-
way of wording that, please, wordsmith?
Do we need that? I mean,
Oh.
excuse me, do we need it?
I acknowledge gifts to the
Yeah,
library,
that's what I thought.
so.
Yeah.
That's library director.
We're gonna
These are
direct-
eliminate
yeah.
that?
bylaws.
Maybe
Under
not
your
a
purview.
trustee,
I
a
do,
board of
like, for,
trustee
you
issue.
know,
Okay.
In memory of like all of the.
Well, it's
all
a
the-
director's
Yeah.
preview,
Yeah.
So we're gonna remove section 5A.
5.8,
Yeah.
goodbye.
and all the other numbers change.
Yeah, true,
Yep.
true.
It's okay, easy enough.
Well, the 5.9 is kind of in the same vein. Especially little money profits that we receive from library purposes, but I guess.
No, I think
Well,
that should remain.
I think
Yeah.
that one's okay, because if someone
Yeah.
specifically said, I'm giving you money to go toward,
Yes.
you know,
Exactly.
the young
Share.
adult group,
That's
or,
exactly.
yeah.
Right.
I think that it's basically just asking that we honor the requests of the
Yes.
Donor,
donors.
yep.
It's Richard's hand.
not me.
Not this time. I was hoping.
5:14?
I was just gonna say.
I was just starting to read it.
Okay, read it, please. I think what makes it okay for me is special cases.
Yes,
Be-
it was special cases.
It's special cases because we don't micromanage the library.
Right.
And the aides are under the director's purview. But in special cases, that makes it work for me,
Yeah,
but,
that was put in specifically,
Yeah.
as a
That was the
special
important
case.
caveat.
yes, okay, all right.
Should it say personnel board?
Well, that's the next question. Dudley, Director of Human Resources, what is that? What do we have?
Those bylaws have still to go before the Attorney General for approval, so.
So could it say and/or personnel?
And/or personnel.
Or
board.
appropriate authority, or just, who knows what we're gonna name it?
Well-
Personnel, I would say that the town of Dudley, Director of Human Resources and/or Personnel Board.
I think that would be acceptable because right
Yes.
now,
We're in limbo and.
Right.
It could be or it could not be. And we're
Exactly.
covered either way.
They
Yeah.
may need further clarification at some point in the future.
We may have to change it again if we change the makeup. Seven one.
Let's see.
What did you want to
So
change?
just letting people read it first.
Oh,
Just letting people read it.
All right, well, I would say that stands.
Yeah.
All its functions under the direction and review of the Board of Trustees. The direction, is it policy, direction of policy? I mean, my problem is with direction.
under the
We could
direction
get-
and review of the Board of Trustees.
We could get into nitpicking every single thing, and I don't want to take the power of
But
the
under the
library
review.
direction. What?
Under the
I was going to say, just skip direction?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, taking that word out, the review of the Board of Trustees. Because direction is like we're micromanaging for my
Yeah,
possibility.
all right, so we'll take that out.
Under the review,
under the review.
Yeah. Now, the next one, 8-1. Let's see, tell me, majority vote of the members present providing the motion presented.
Actually, I think that
Seconded
30
the
days
preceding
was
meeting.
probably in Mass General Law.
Oh, really?
I can check on that, but after I read this, I'm thinking that may be the case.
So, we have not been on, like,
Oh,
Well, I think we
We've
were
been in
pretty
violation.
quickly the last time.
I
don't
know,
if
but
it
we have
was in
not
30
been.
days.
our issue is we have one meeting a month, and so all of a sudden we get and then we come up with names, let's talk about it, and then we'll bring it up at the next meeting, and it's usually beyond 30 days.
And then we sit down and then we sit down
We
and
have to have
interview.
We're at
applicants,
the
and we have
mercy
to
of the
have,
Board of Selectmen's
there's,
meeting.
Exactly, we're,
Right, I forgot
I
about
like
that.
removing the 30 days.
yeah. There's too many moving parts to
Too
get
many.
30
Yeah.
days
Too
to
many
do,
moving parts.
on all occasions anyway.
we try. It's not like we don't try.
Yeah, we had a meeting like 2 weeks after we
Mhm.
went to interview.
2 weeks in a row, I think.
Yeah,
Okay, so that, you figure that would be under chapter 78, somewhere buried in there, perhaps, if that exists at all.
What's that?
That 30 days, if it exists at all, it'd be in chapter 78, buried in
Might be,
the
yes.
woods
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's vacating, either that or they have a special section that just specific questions, and it's replacing appointing a new member member of a board or something like that.
So my reading of section 8.1 is that we have to vote on these things, but we can't enact them or have any of these changes effective until the next meeting.
Next meeting, yeah.
Right. So which of them, we're going with the 30-day thing,
Yeah, we're gonna eliminate that.
and we're going to eliminate direction.
On,
So
What else?
1.4 will eliminate within 30 days.
yeah,
Yeah.
second page is clean.
Directions and accept, the gifts, 5/8's going.
5/8 going away.
We'll lose 5.8, and then on 5.6, do we decide to keep the word weekly? Board, a weekly statement of invoices paid,
Yeah,
or?
so we haven't changed that one.
Okay.
We discussed it, but we didn't change it.
Okay.
And we took out direction on 7.1.
So I have three changes.
Don't forget the and/or personnel board on 5.14.
Oh, that's right, that makes 4. Yep, you're correct.
Oh, say it again.
You're correct, you're correct.
So
So,
we vote these individually? or-
Yeah, we probably should.
all right.
All right, starting at the,
Section 1.4, I make a motion that we eliminate within 30 days in the third line and put a period after replacements.
second.
Mr. Craven has made a motion. Mr. Clark has seconded. Do I have to have discussion?
You can ask, but we can ignore.
Any discussion on this? No discussion necessary. Could I have a vote, please, of the board?
So moved, I mean,
Those,
in favor.
those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? It's voted unanimously. That is section 1.4 in the bylaws. Please turn to page 3. We are looking at section 5.8, correct?
Yes.
I would move that we delete section 5.8 as it refers to acknowledgement of gifts to the library.
Okay,
I'll second that, okay, you got a second?
excellent. So I have a motion from Mr. Clark, and I have a second from, well, we'll let Ms. Pat
Yes, pick
have it.
somebody else, pick somebody else.
Any discussion, folks? Excellent. Could I have a vote, please? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None. So it is unanimous that we will remove section 5.8 from our trustee bylaws. I would ask that everyone please turn to page 4. We are looking at section 5.13. Nope, 14, I apologize. Section 5.14, and that after, oh, actually, I'll have somebody make a motion on that one.
I'll make a motion that we amend section 5.14 in special cases and under direction of the Town of Dudley Director of Human Resources and/or Personnel Board.
Second.
Excellent. Ms. Corch has put a motion on the floor. Mr. Clark has seconded it. Any discussion necessary, folks? Thank you. Could I have a vote, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Any opposed? Again, unanimous on the changes on section 5.14. And then our last change here would be Article 7, Section 7.1. Could I have a motion on this one, please?
And that was yours.
I'll make a motion that on section 7.1, we eliminate the words,
Direction.
I can't read it, I've crossed it out so much, direction and. Direction and.
Excellent.
Second.
Excellent. I have Mr. Craven with a motion and Ms. Corch with a second. Any further discussion? Thank you. Could I have a vote, please, to accept this change?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Wonderful. Again, unanimous. The 4 changes in the Board of Trustee bylaws will
We voted on.
be voted
The
on.
next meeting. And then the obvious that
Excellent.
all the numbers get corrected.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get all those bylaws straightened out with the removal of 5.8. Thank you, folks. I appreciate your help on that one.
Excellent.
On our agenda, or I should say back to our agenda, I am looking at board member comments and/or observations. Mr. Clark, any
All I would say is just keep on keeping on. I mean, I can't imagine how the library could be doing any better than it is. We all have to be continually sensitive to budgetary issues as we start moving forward. See how that plays out. And it would be nice, I don't know what the status is of the Friends at this point.
We only had half the members available at the last meeting. This week is actually National Friends of the Library Week. I don't know if you guys saw the post.
Can we recruit, or how could we go about encouraging people to join the Friends? Have we advertised
I
that?
actually wondered about that, Richard. I have a drive in September for
Library cards.
I was
Right.
wondering about, doing something like to help recruit for the Friends.
I've had people actually ask me when the book sale is.
I have.
We've had a lot.
I
of
actually have
interest.
to.
I hadn't appreciated, I don't think, how much some folks were looking forward to that, but there is interest in the community, and it's unfortunate that it's not a possibility or not available to them. Again, if we could chin up that number a little bit, maybe some younger folks involved,
Yeah, that
someone
would
else.
be great, yes.
Yeah, it's a new
Someone
life.
with some technical knowledge who could put together a Facebook page for them, or.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even better.
I suggested to them at their meeting that they maybe get the marketing department at Bay Path to kind of help them.
That'd be great, yeah.
Something together.
Exposure, community
Mhm.
exposure. Social media is great for that.
Absolutely.
And maybe there's somebody at the high school or Nichols. I don't know if you have
Well,
connection with them.
I think it's the Friends' job to
Yes.
work
Look
on
for
their
friends.
membership.
Exactly.
I put
That's just it.
recommendations out
Yeah.
for them, and
They need to recruit younger members onto their board, they really do, that's the thing. Somebody who, like Patty, when she worked at the library, she was on the Friends Board, Patty Wisniewski.
yep.
She did a lot of their marketing and things. But, yeah, we need somebody with technical knowledge, and I think that's probably a younger person, or, maybe reaching out to the members and saying, do you have a son or daughter who would be
Yeah.
willing to help us,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Again, they are a separate board from us.
Yes.
So we've
Right.
gotta be gentle, and I think, I'll try, I'll make a point of trying to go to their next meeting, or soon meeting, and just show our concern and what can we do for you, not
Yeah.
what we're gonna do for you,
Right.
what can we do for you,
Yep,
how can
with
we
you.
help, and with you, and we gotta work together, and
Yeah, it's for the
I think we'll
benefit
try
of
to
the
make a little
library.
better connection, because we've had better connections in the past. And, yeah, I will make a point of doing that, go to the Friends meeting,
Thank
It's a
you.
huge community
How often
connection.
do they meet?
once a month.
Once a month. Yep, once a month in the local history room at 2:00. It's on the schedule, on the library event calendar. It's on there. I can't remember the exact date. But I know a lot of them are having medical issues and we're gonna be out for surgeries, and it's a small
It's a-
group.
yeah.
And 3 of them were traveling.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
At one time,
At one time.
Did they ask permission?
I don't remember.
Let's get their bylaws.
See what direction they're taking when they travel.
Excellent. Anything else?
I will say it was nice to read an editorial in the paper praising you.
Mm-hmm.
That was really nice to read, so thank you.
Is that the pitch players?
Yes,
Yeah, they were
that
in
was
today.
very nice.
They were funny. They'll be with us for the next 3 weeks during election time.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
early voting, yeah.
It's great to see them in that room.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
great, yeah. And I will just add my thanks to the staff. I mean,
Yeah.
you folks have all been great, and everyone has a role now, which is really wonderful, and feels they're really making contributions, and it's made a whole difference in the positivity, yeah, that people recognize,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
You walk in, there's a smile, a hi. Somebody's always laughing.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
awesome.
Yep.
That's
It's really great.
fantastic.
It's really great.
And if you miss a day when you just don't happen to catch one of the eights for a few weeks, where have you been? And with a smile, I mean, very nicely said, I haven't caught you, where have you been? I think, oh, okay, I'll make sure I come in on that day.
Here I am.
But yeah, it's
That's
fun.
wonderful.
It is fun.
Good.
Yeah.
If we have nothing further to share, I thank all of you for being flexible and having our meeting this evening. And our next trustee meeting will be held on the 12th of November in room 315.
Madam Chair, I would move that we adjourn.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Corch. Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed?
Never-
No, we're gonna stay here all night.